like a little weekend reading vlog. I made my coffee, had my breakfast. We're just gonna chill all weekend and do nothing. So, the first book that I'm reading this weekend is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. So, I'm about 50 pages into it, and it's quite fun. We haven't met any vampires yet, but I'm assuming we're coming in soon. I feel like this is such a total summer book, even though it could be very fall at the same time, but I feel like it's very summer. I'm hoping to read this and start one more this weekend. I don't know what that other one's gonna be yet. But yeah, other than that, nothing else really going on. ASMR going on in the background. Little study room with some rain. I'm gonna read, drink my coffee, and I'll get back to you with an update. Just got to a scene talking about rats. Now, rats don't bother me, but like this, it was like a nightmare. Not even a nightmare. It like happened. It was a memory, and oh my god, it's really gross. But like the rats are fine. It's just that memory that I'm like, oh. Other than that, though, I guess we're 130 pages in. Might as well check so I can not read this section for a moment. I still think our man James is the vampire, and I think these rats have something to do with it. I think somehow he controls them or something. I don't know, maybe vampires turn into rats in this little universe, but I just needed a moment to conceal myself about the rats because please, we could suffer together. It was like this rat was climbing in their bed, and then shoot, came in and pulled the blankets back, and the rat was attached to her belly button, eating its way in, and oh, so gross. I can't. We're gonna truck along. Keep going. Here we are. Now on page 160, and the mystery has like finally picked up, I would say. We After that whole rat situation, we got to Mrs. Green, Miss, and we learned that children are disappearing, but only black children, because they are in a black community and not the white suburbia of where Patricia lives, our main character. So now we're getting to that, and we see the van that our lovely suspected vampire James is driving has been all over 6 miles, I believe. I believe that's what they call it. And there's a scene where like Patricia's friend Kitty is like saying, "Why haven't I heard about it?" And Mrs. Green's like, "Newspaper," I believe she says like, "Newspaper and police just say it's colored people being colored people," which is very reflective of how society is. So I feel like I'm gonna eat lunch. What I'm having, I don't know, but I'm interested to see where this is going. I feel like we have to meet the vampire soon. Like we have to. A book called Slaying Vampires, and we haven't met the vampire yet. Although there's rats, I'm still suspicious of those rats. I still think they are something to do with the vampires. But I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat. I'll check in with you soon. Good morning. How we doing? I'm doing pretty good. Last night I finished the Southern Book Club guides. And last night I finished the Southern's Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. And I loved it. Whoa. It was such a fun ride. I loved every moment of it, from the misogyny to the vampire death. It's just like, it really reminds me how misogynistic people were in the 80s and how much people didn't care about their wives that were housewives. I mean, there's a line there was like, what else do you gotta do? Your job as a housewife. I loved the writing in this. I thought it was very well paced. It was 400 pages, but it didn't feel like 400 pages. It flew by really fast. The characters, all the book club, all the wives were hysterical. All of them were so fun. And they all had their own personality, which was even better. It was very fun to see the southern like pettiness. It's like you would say something nice and then it really didn't mean that at all, which was very funny at times. But I also loved that the parts were broken up and I think this is how it was, what books they read. And listen, y'all, I hate James. I hate him so much. James is so annoying. What an asshole. He comes in, ruins their perfectly good book club, gets all their husbands involved, and like, it's just like funny to watch like this new man come in and their husbands believe him more than their own wives. And I think that speaks volumes to the times we were in through the 80s, like late 80s to the 90s, which I'm pretty sure this book is mostly set in the 90s, but it feels more 80s. You know?
You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Now wait just a minute.
Yeah, it's totally set in the 90s, but here we are. And then I'm thinking it's the 80s. But I also love this cover. It like looks like a library book. The dust jacket looks great too. So it's about this book club, or this group of women who start a book club after their original one is like a piece of, because she picks bad books. So they start a new book and they read like true crime books, and then they mix in like, I think just like contemporary books, something to like just give them a palate cleanser of true crime. Then this mysterious man comes in and he shakes up the whole town. Her main character, Patricia, helps him out in setting up his life, but he has like nothing except this like bag of cash and this house where his great aunt mysteriously disappears.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
She helps him set up, and then he kind of befriends everyone in the town. He gets like part of everything. He makes good with the husbands, helps them with business. Now they're all best friends, and now Patricia's like, something's wrong, but the husband, who's also a psychiatrist, says, no, nothing's wrong. It's James. We love James. James is fine. Which listen, maybe we should listen to the wives. Something happens, and she picks up some vampire books and she starts reading. And it's only funny because it's like, you would assume like people think they could become a true detective and like they've read so many true crime books that they could do it themselves, but like really she has been struggling. I love this book. I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. It was a very fun time. It was definitely a summery book. The heat, the way that Grade 8 talks about the heat so much, I would highly recommend this to read through the summer if you're looking for a little thriller book. Right now, just watching Chelsea Dowling reads Reading Rush vlogs from like 2 years ago. I'm gonna make some coffee probably soon, and what else am I gonna do? Maybe cut up a watermelon, pineapple. I don't know what else I'm gonna be doing today. I hope I can have another chill day of just reading, maybe playing some video games. Had to halt. As for what I'm reading next, I don't know. I'm gonna take you up in a few and we'll decide what we're gonna be reading. Quick little update. Have I been reading? No. But I have been writing, and I think I got like a pretty decent amount of words so far. Got a little lunch break. And we're gonna back in, buckle up. We're gonna hopefully do another hour of it and get pretty far and finish this scene. Then I'll pick another book. It's between 4 books, between Ace of Spades, Legendborn, Priory of the Orange Tree, and The Project. I just haven't decided. And, you know, if you're watching, you could have voted on my Instagram poll at tired_reads. You could have been a part of this decision. You could have helped me. It would have been made my life easier. I hate decisions. Go back and writing it. Maybe then I can make a decision on what to read. Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Coffee. It's gonna be a chill day. I think I'm just gonna read in the house. I decided to pick up Legendborn by Tracy Dion. Only 30 pages into it. Read a little bit more, write a lot more, and I'll check in the more I read. Hope you're having a good one. Good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This is a little wrap up of the weekend reading vlog. Just gonna out here eating some watermelon and pineapple and drinking coffee. A great start to the morning. So I read close to 400 pages this weekend. First I read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which I gave 5 stars. It was such a fun read, and I loved the atmosphere of like the whole time the whole time I read this I thought it was the 80s. It was the 90s. But I loved like the I didn't love the misogyny, hate that. But I liked how it played its role in the story and how it like geared the women up even more. And how they all came together at the end. Trigger warnings for sexual assault, rats, suicide, blood, murder. I mean, it's a horror book, so just be cautious of that if you're someone that needs to look out for trigger warnings. Other than that, I would highly recommend this book. I thought it was such a fun time, such a I mean, it was like I couldn't put it down. I read it in like one day mostly. It was just a page turner, turning the page. I'm not sure if I gave a good synopsis of this, so I'll quickly give one of this. This is a group of ladies who read. This is in a book club in the South in the 90s, and they start reading these books. They start their new book group because they weren't enjoying the book, so they decided to start reading true crime books. Then one night, our main character, Patricia's like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have some crime to spice up the neighborhood? And one of the girls is like, no. And unfortunately for them, it comes to fruition, and a vampire comes to town, which she is very helpful for. His name is James. He wreaks havoc on the town. He gets buddy with all the husbands, and so we get a lot of gaslighting from the husbands to the women, saying that like they're just making things up, when in reality they were all correct, and they're all truthers, and they all know what they're talking about. So I would highly recommend this, Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I'm excited to pick up their other works. I know they have a couple of others, and all their covers are stunning. They have stunning covers. After that, I picked up Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I am 75 pages in. I'm liking this one a lot. It was I'd say a rough start for like the first 20 pages, but now we're finally learning about the secret order that Bree is in, and so we follow our main character Bree, who's being accepted into UNC's like University of North Carolina's like high school program, where they can go in for their senior year of high school to earn college credits and stuff. So we follow her going to that. We know that her mother has died, but now she's questioning if it was true, if she was lied to, if this magic that she just found out about is playing a role in it, in the role of her mother's death. And now she's got in trouble a little for partying, but it's fine. And so has this peer mentor, that Nick, who's a part of this secret Merlin Order of the Merlin, I believe they call it, society. And so he's like taking her along, but like he's very reluctant, and she's very stronghold in the fact that she's gonna get the information of who actually killed her mother. And so we just got to a part where she barges into their house, and so I'm interested to see how this is going. But so far, I'm really enjoying this. I think this is gonna be a fun ride. This may be a 5-star book. 2 5-star books in June. Starting off so well. Actually 3, because I read Heartstopper recently, and I gave that 5 stars. I also started listening to Everything I've Never Told You by Celeste Ng while cleaning the house yesterday, and it's a fun book. It reminds me of a lot of Little Fires Everywhere, which is her other book, where it's just like not a lot is happening. It's just like almost a lot of like this one thing happened, but we're following like the events following up to that event. So this family, their daughter goes missing and then dies, and so now we're following like all these events that led up to this. And so far it's not, I don't know, it's like okay, but like I'm enjoying it because it's a fun family drama, but I'm not like loving it. So right now we're still following like everyone. The brother's like super suspicious of this guy she was hanging out with. I was listening to this on audiobook, so names have escaped me for the moment, but I need to pick it back up and finish it. I have like about 3 hours left in an audiobook that I got from Libby, from a local library. So if I finish that, I'll update probably on Instagram stories about that. But it's a fun read so far. A good listen. I enjoy Celeste Ng's writing. It's very like a TV show drama where you just get a lot of information, which I enjoy. But it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for like a summer book, which I should have known, like a summer contemporary book, but I should have known that's not what I was getting into with her. So that's on me. But if you have any good summer contemporary recommendations, let me know down below, and I'll surely snatch it up next time I clean the entire house. But that was my little weekend reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like down below. Leave a comment. How was your weekend? Did you read anything? Did you do anything fun? Subscribe if you haven't and you've stuck around this long. Let's leave the little, oh, which one do I want? Here we go. Let's leave a peach emoji for a Southern book club, vampire killers, and a wizard for Merlin, who's coming in soon. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, night, or whatever. And I hope you have fun celebrating whatever you're celebrating today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.